Yo! Rising up on the Sunday, man, from the land of the rising sun and land of the rising fun. Oh, yeah. And the land of your rising buns. This one goes out to my man, Frederick FM Ayers, dude, because my dude had a dope imagination, and homeboy taught me about, he used to do, what is it called, astral projection, or I don't know, what do you call it, where you travel, like you're not asleep yet and then you leave your body and go out into the world and, like, I don't know, inhabit different dimensions and stuff. That's crazy. He was a teenager and apparently he hooked up with some hippie lady who taught him how to do it, and then he was doing it, but then he got scared for some reason. Probably, shoot, I would be scared to do that. But then he wrote all this fiction, and I heard recently, I was watching some YouTube, so who knows, but this dude, some science fiction writer, some dick, he had to be a dick, right? Some writer dick, okay? This dick, he was saying how he wasn't writing like fiction, basically. He at some point he was living in dual dimensions, like he was living and feeling as some person in the Roman times, like he said, a Christian slave, and then in the modern times. So he gave a speech in 1977 about it, and people were just like, what is in the blazes is this dude talking about? But he talked about multiple realities. So anyway, word up to that. But I penned up a few ideas. It's fun to do. You should do it too. Where you sit down in the morning and just get some raw ideas out. Because we all got some cool ideas and they're floating around, man. I think, I've heard this before. People say we're more like a radio and you're tuning in those different frequencies. I know Alma know what I'm talking about. You the it. You know what I'm saying? You the it. You know you it. So anyway, here's what I wrote. Alright. Here we go. You expect the villain to be bad. Like in big time wrestling. Ooh, they so bad. You expect them to be bad. And you expect the loving and just to unify and be heroic no matter the cost. Like when the Power Rangers, they fought one by one and then they lose and they come together. I don't know if Voltron did something like that, but come on, man. Shoot. You can't bide your time and like, well, I know bad's going on, but I'll wait till my situation's great and then cut out. I mean, it just ain't gonna work. So, alright. We aren't battling an enemy. We're not battling an enemy. Y'all yin yang. We are dancing a forbidden dance. Dun 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 dun. Forbidden, man. It's forbidden. Got the yin yang, dude. It's not a battle, too. That's the West, all these Western religions, including Islam. It's like this battle, and it's not a battle. It's the back and forth. So wet, dry, dark, light, cold, hot. It's just, that's what it is. And what I heard too was Alan Watts explained it. He said that it's not about, everything's doomed. Oh. That old picture, was that Van Gogh? I don't know who did that, but you win. Or the good wins, whatever, but it's, what would it be? Oh, he always said, Alan Watts had a good exercise. You should try it. Write down your idea of heaven or some great, wonderful afterlife. After about 3 sentences, you realize how boring as shit that is. And he said, oh, because even in the Buddha said, wow, just be this kind of clear gas floating in space. How majestic that would be. For about 10 minutes, maybe. or all you can eat buffet orgy. Like, is that the best we can conjure? Huh? Just surrounded by love. So, and his whole point wasn't making fun of that. Well, it was, but the reality we're in is this multiple reality we have decided to jump into and challenge ourselves. To challenge pop, challenge PLP, challenge yourself. Okay. They say the most evil form of violence is neglect. They say, whoever they is. So who and what are we neglecting? And why do we pay so much goddamn attention to the ones who neglect us? Eh? Why? Why you do that? What is he, like Elaine Bennis or George Costanzas of life? Remember Elaine, like that nerdy dude, Jerry's cousin, he kept forgetting her name, and she's like, why is he forgetting mine? How could he forget me? And so she goes on a date, and then she finally, in the date, realizes, like, man, why am I on a date with this dude? Because he neglected her. And then George was madly in love with the woman who hated his guts, and it's like, oh. There you go, the human condition. All right, lastly, here we go. Bob Marley, okay? And I'll recommend that book again, Catch a Fire. That's a dope-ass book. All right. Bob Marley rose up to prove, not only, but one reason, to prove his pop's family and the Babylon system wrong. Babylon, which is basically capitalism, right? Suppose Bob, Robert Nesta Marley, had been well taken care of. If he was well adjusted, every need taken care of. How would we lively up ourselves, man, and feel no dread? Huh? How would we do that? And I bet the Babylon by bus is not an accordion bus, because it's way too fun to sit in the middle and giggle with the buddy dude. Oh! And I know my friend John and Ellen, who worked Muni, he said, it's not an accordion bus. I forget what he called it. I said, man, come on. For a paisan, it's accordion bus. It's fun, huh? All right, there you go. Rising up Sunday. Rising up. Lively up yourself. Right? Isn't that right, Sonny? That's right. Puppies. Puppies.